As a number of you know, my wife and I just moved from Detroit to Kemp Mill this past summer. This Shabbat Hagadol, makes me think about our synagogue back in Michigan and the contrast between where we were last year and where we are now. At our former shul, the rabbi on Shabbat Hagadol would invariably remind us that historically the rabbi would only give 2 Shabbat drashes during the year, one on Shabbat Hagadol to discuss the halachot of Pesach, and one on Shabbat Shuvah to discuss Teshuvah. And almost on cue, the congregants would sigh and think to themselves, for the good old days. We contrast this with our current shul, where the congregants insist that the rabbi address the congregation every week on Shabbat morning, even when the bar or bat mitzvah has a devar. And we know, metaphorically, that just like Dorothy said to Toto, and the Super Bowl winning Chiefs responded to a presidential tweet, we're not in Kansas anymore. But in keeping with the practice of discussing the laws and customs of Pesach, I wanted to talk today about the time that you can start the Seder. It seems like a paradox to me that a central purpose of the Seder is to involve the children and to encourage their questions. But when the generally held starting time of the Seder is Seder Kochavim, 3 stars, or at nightfall, it's way past their bedtime. So, what do we do about this? A review of the advice handed down through the generations from our sages leaves us with this amazing recommendation. Have your kids take a nap during the day so that they'll be well rested for Seder night. Get your kids to take a nap. Brilliant. Have you met my grandchildren? Or, as I like to think of them, the 3 lovable little Energizer bunnies? You have? Have you tried to get them all down for an afternoon nap all together? Yeah. Good luck with that one. So, what else can we do? The Aish website suggests that you should sing some of the familiar songs from the end of the Haggadah before nightfall. And I personally think this is great because I love those songs. And when it gets to the end of the Seder, I'm often so tired that it's really not as enjoyable as it could be to sing them. But there are additional opinions as to when the Seder can start. Last year, in Hadar's annual Pesach Reader, there was an article written by Rabbi Ethan Tucker entitled, "Can You Start the Seder Early?" And the article presented various opinions from a number of rabbinic scholars on this topic. I presented a summary of this article at a Passover symposium last year in Detroit. A transcript of my summary made its way back to Hadar, and Hadar received it positively, and they asked me if they could record it on social media. I said, sure, as long as they tag me, which they did, and Rabbi Tucker recorded a slightly modified version. His video got over 4,600 views on Facebook, which can't really be considered viral, a term that used to be considered a good thing, but which was about 4,550 more views than I would have gotten if I had recorded it. In any case, I would like to present my summary of Rabbi Tucker's article, but prior to this summary, let me include the following public service announcement and disclaimer. The information presented herein contains a number of approaches to the subject and are not intended to be construed as advice on the subject matter. For an authoritative opinion on the subject, consult with your official halachic authority. Furthermore, any publication, rebroadcast, or other reproduction or use of this material without the express written consent of the presenter, do whatever you want with it, like I could stop you from doing it anyway. And now, without further ado, my summary, which I entitled, I Hate to Wait, the Seder Starts Too Late. Yo, it's Erev Pesach and you want to start the Seder, but from what you've learned, it must start a lot later. To recreate the tale of our emancipator, start the Seder after nightfall. Now, don't be a hater, but the baby is crying, your Zadie is shrine, the teens are all sighing that this weight is really trying, and there's no denying that if there were a buying that the Seder could start earlier, our spirits will be flying. So while you're all just sitting down stuck here, eating a candy bar or sitting, you're looking on a sucker, I got 5 different options posed by Rabbi Ethan Tucker. He's a DAR president and he's a smart mother lover. Yes, he loves his mom. I don't know what you were thinking. Number 1, Reb Yehuda Sirleon is a guy I should mention when it comes to starting late. He says, pay no attention. Just pick up any time with your convention because there's no rabbinic source, but this view can cause some tension. You see, it ignores the importance of night, and other rabbis just can't agree with the slight. Yehuda Sirleon, though try as he might, can't get the other rabbis to see things in his light. Number 2, others think that telling the story is neat, but what's important is the food you eat. So finish the magid for the day's complete, and then proceed with your matzah treat. Come a little early, be driven by a chauffeur, get the kiddush and the karpas and the story all over. If this is the option that you might go for, you'd be right in line with the Chatam Sofer. Number 3, another strategy that you might try is to do the kiddush and the kappas for the day goes by. So the magid is important. After nightfall would be wiser. The greens, not so much. They're just an appetizer. Number 4. Others think that karpas is important still. It's a significant Pesach ritual. Will you do it after nightfall? Why, yes, you will. And this is the view of the Ma'aril. The Kiddush, since it's said on every other festival, can be done before nightfall by your dad or Uncle Phil. Number 5. But if you want to start in the traditional way, do the Kiddush after nightfall. That's what most rabbis say. You recreate the Exodus at night, not at day, though the early rest for Shachrit is this price you pay. Let's summarize. And there you have 5 different cases for starting your Seder with halachic basis. You pick up after nightfall in different places. It could change the expression on your family's faces. They could be real happy and sing your praises or say that you're the victim of the latest crazes. But whatever your position, to start sooner or later, chakasher v'sameach, and enjoy your Seder. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Kasher v'Sameach.